Great question. The top things that people should be thinking about when they're shopping reverse mortgages is first, the type of reverse mortgage. A lot of people don't recognize there are multiple types. Typically, when you say reverse mortgage, people are thinking FHA, home equity conversion mortgage. That's 95% of the traditional reverse mortgages. There are proprietary reverse mortgages also that are not FHA products. Um, so that's kind of a new thing that they've been around for a long time, but they really haven't gained popularity. Recently, they've become very popular. So when it comes to shopping a reverse mortgage, the first thing that I would say is there are advantages to talking to brokers. An independent broker that represents multiple investors also represents multiple proprietary products. So I would say first thing is talk to a broker rather than an individual bank. There are reverse mortgage institutions. You've seen the Tom Selleck commercials on the television. There are some big names out there that are the big 800-pound gorillas. You talk to them, you're going to talk to their individual loan officers that work for their company. They can't sell other companies' products. So I would suggest talking to a broker as opposed to an individual banker because you have more options. As far as when it comes down to three or four different companies, maybe you're talking to three or four different brokers and they're all shopping the same product. What's the difference? What do you need to know between them? First thing is, if they're all selling the same FHA product, it's going to be pretty similar. Guidelines are pretty similar. Loan to value ratios are pretty similar. So really it comes down to what kind of experience are you going to have? And when I say experience, I mean, it's helpful to have someone who knows how to do reverse mortgages. Ask them, what's your experience like? How many reverse mortgages have you done? These are not like another mortgage program. In the current market conditions, there are a lot of mortgage companies that are floundering because interest rates are high, purchases are slow. So they're dabbling in reverse mortgages to stay afloat, which is great. We welcome those people into the industry, want these to become more mainstream. But the problem is, if someone's only done a couple of loans, it will show in the experience that you have with them. So talk to someone who really knows what they're doing. There are ways to be able to find out if a person's being honest with you. You'll probably figure out pretty quickly what their level of experience is. But I would suggest someone who works exclusively in reverse mortgages. You will see a difference. The number of phone calls that I get on a weekly basis, monthly basis, I'd say I probably get half a dozen to a dozen calls a month of somebody who started the process with someone else, had a bad experience, and then came to us. That happens pretty often. So I would say, one, when it comes to shopping, talk to a broker that can represent your needs. Second is find someone that's got a lot of experience. And then the third thing is the interest rates on reverse mortgages change every Tuesday. So be fair to the people that you're talking to. If you talk to one company on Monday and another company on Wednesday, their numbers may fluctuate a little bit because the rates changed. So be fair. If you're going to talk to 10 different companies, talk to all of them on the same day. Give them the same appraised value, give them the same dates of birth and the same payoff amount on the same day. You'll get a pretty fair comparison from one company to the other. But what you'll find is, like any business, there are unscrupulous sales agents out there that you kind of have to question a little bit. Some of them will say they know that you're shopping, and so they'll fudge. I've seen some crazy things. I've seen people that have accidentally put in a wrong date of birth so that the borrower is 5 years older, and it shows their numbers are more than the next guy. So then the person then wants to do the loan. And then they get into oh, my bad, I'm sorry, I put the date of birth in wrong, and then they put the date of birth in correctly, and all of a sudden it's the same as everybody else. I've seen some shady stuff like that. So I'd say experience matters. The last thing that I would say is work with somebody that you're comfortable with. More than likely, this is the last loan you're ever going to have. If you talk with someone and then you're having to have all of your questions answered by someone else, they're not doing the job for you. I'm a part of a couple of different Instagram social media accounts that have reverse mortgage group discussions. And I remember there was one woman in there in particular who had working with a reverse mortgage person, and she had 1,000 questions. And she was going to the discussion threads and asking the questions in the discussion threads and not talking to her loan officer. And I was like, well, If the loan officer can't answer the questions for you, how are they earning their revenue? How are they earning their pay on that loan? The person that you're talking to should be competent in answering all of your questions. If they're not, what are you paying them for? So I hope that answers your question. Those are the things that I would say if you're shopping. Those are the key factors.